If you thought the suggestion that moral action will arise from moral character from the last video seemed a bit lackluster, environmental ethicists like Racheal Fredricks would agree with you. Rather than assume that action will follow character, Fredericks makes the case that developing courage as an environmental virtue requires us not merely to develop virtuous attitudes, but to understand how and why having a virtuous character also means acting virtuously, specifically having the courage to act virtuously. The purpose of requiring courage as an environmental virtue is to address the common disconnection between how people often feel about how we should treat the environment and how they actually act in the world. Their energy consumption, their voting practices, the products they buy, and their engagement with environmental activism as a whole. Moral courage involves acting toward a morally motivated cause, despite the risk of social repercussions such as shame, ridicule, or estrangement. I would go further and say that this also involves acting despite our personal discomfort with change. An excellent example of this is Autumn Peltier's extensive activism to secure clean drinking water for Indigenous communities in Canada. On one highly public occasion in 2016, Peltier spoke face-to-face with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau about his clean water policies and pipeline production, saying, "I am very unhappy with the choices you have made." Peltier was willing to risk significant backlash from this statement, nationally and on a global scale, but also in immediate response from the leader of her country. An important aspect of moral change, which Fredericks borrows from Matthew Pianalto, by the way, don't worry about recognizing or remembering these names, I just mentioned them to give them credit, is viewing other people as moral agents, which is to say that other humans should be treated as people with full lives and decision-making capacity and justifications for their actions, not as mere obstacles in your way or as people who are less than and thus easily dismissed. Think of how people who strongly identify with different political parties dehumanize each other by demeaning their intelligence, ability to think for themselves, their compassion, their ability to understand right from wrong, and so on. In dehumanizing others, we seek to limit the social risks of acting toward our moral goals, because you can't be rejected from a community if you don't view them as a worthy community in the first place. Peltier, in the previous example, did not undermine Trudeau's capacity to act morally or disregard his ability to make better decisions in the future. She recognized him as a full person and instructed him to do better. In our day-to-day actions, we have many opportunities to be morally courageous. For some, this will be voting for a political party that has a robust climate change response policy, despite having friends, family, or living in a community with people who vocally support a different party. For others, it could be choosing to become vegan or boycotting a popular retail store with unethical practices. It may even be bringing Tupperware containers to catered events to save the extra food from going to waste.